Thank you, Kyle, for your kind words. It's really humbling to be selected to Hall of Fame. I want to congratulate Alex and Adam. I followed your careers. Adam, I saw you play many times. Very deserving. Thanks, Mark and the Hall of Fame committee for firing me for the year and including me as a part of the Hall of Fame. I thank the Lord for directing me to Taylor and giving me the ability to play college sports. I thought I might share a little bit about my history at Taylor. I first came to Taylor in 1961 to basketball camp as a 9-year-old under Coach Don Odom. It was the beginning of a 62-year love affair. It was former Taylor football coach Bob Davenport who introduced me to Christ when I was 15. It was at a Methodist church camp. It changed my life. And I'm forever grateful. In 1969, after I graduated from high school, I worked at Taylor basketball camp. And then came to Taylor in January 1970 as a student athlete. I played 4 years, 3 of those years under Coach Nelson Gould, Kyle Gould's uncle. And my final season under Coach Tom Carlson. Some of my other football coaches were Tom Jarman, John Bonham, Joe Romine, Howard Taylor, Gail Arnold, and Walt Campbell, among many others. Walt was one of my coaches from that era that's still around Taylor. Interestingly, he was my junior high football coach at Mississinawa, and then became one of my college coaches. Now, Walt and I usually sit together in one of the suites at most of the home games. During my football playing days at Taylor, I was a place kicker. Now, for those of you younger than 60, I was what I call a real kicker. One who kicked straight on with a square-toed shoe. I was not one of those sidewinders who come from a different sport. I like to tease the soccer-style kickers at Taylor about what a real kicker is. And although not for Taylor kickers, but for other kickers in the NFL and college, when I watch them, I get a cheap thrill when I see them hook the ball right outside the goal line or goal post when they're trying to win the game. One of the games I remember very well was against Earlham College. Earlham was a conference opponent in the old Hoosier Buckeye Conference. The entire game was played in the rain, and they had a terrible field. Every player on our team was covered in mud. It was a very close game with many fumbles of that slippery ball, and came down to the last play of the game. We were within field goal range, and all I had to do was kick the field goal to win the game. We started the game in all white uniforms, but by the end, you could hardly see any white through all the mud. Everyone except for me. You know, as a kicker, I only played 4 or 5 plays a game. My uniform was completely white as I trotted on the field for the final field goal attempt to win the game. What I didn't know until many years later, one of my Democrat colleagues from the Indiana House of Representatives played in that game for Earlham. As I ran on the field, I knew I had to get a good plant of my left foot to have any chance of making that field goal. I found a spot that was somewhat dry to place my left foot, got a good plant, and made the field goal to win the game. Of course, my muddy teammates swarmed me and made a victory pile in the middle of the field with me on the bottom. I no longer had a white uniform. I reminded Representative Porter of that Taylor win over his Earlham Quakers many times while we served together in the Indiana General Assembly. It was great being a place kicker for Taylor for 4 years and having some success along the way. I have to tell you, Coach Gould always encouraged me, made me feel like the next stop for me was the NFL. For a kicker, half the battle is confidence. And you see kickers all the time lose confidence, they're done. Well, the closest I ever got to the NFL was a couple of letters of interest from minor league teams in Wisconsin. They didn't pay much, so Cindy and I went on to our careers. As Kyle said, later in life, I had the opportunity to kick a football off the Great Wall of China on a trip to that country with my parents. And I have to admit, I went through the warm-ups and all that, and I kind of got that same feeling when I ran out on the field for Taylor. And I marked the ball up. It was actually my daughter Jess's birthday. And wrote the date on it, kicked it off the wall. It was actually not off the walls, but the platform, you know. And wasn't my best kick, but wasn't my worst kick. Went down the mountain, and a little Chinese boy went down and got it, brought it back to me, and I gave it to him. Well, Cindy and I got engaged under the north goalpost of the old football field. We were married our last 1.5 years of college, 2 football seasons. She worked while I played football. We were married in 1973. We lived in a mobile home in the then Taylor Trailer Park for 2 years. We loved that trailer park, especially paying $19 a month for lot rent, water, sewage, and trash pickup. After coming out of a dorm room, I thought, it doesn't get much better than our mobile home. We still have many friends from those days we lived in the Taylor Trailer Park. Cindy considers herself a Taylor person. After living there for 2 years, the mother of 4 Taylor grads, supporting Taylor all these years, even though she got her degree from that other school in Grant County. Cindy and I have always considered it an honor to give back to Taylor. And we feel we've been blessed to be put in a position to do that. Cindy and I celebrated our 50th anniversary this past summer. All 4 of our kids graduated from Taylor and participated in intercollegiate athletics. My brother Kyle and his wife Pam are Taylor alums and met at Taylor. Cindy is the founder of the Taylor Women's Basketball Families Organization in 1999 when our daughter played basketball, and I think it continues to this year. As Kyle said, I had the privilege of representing Taylor University in the state legislature for 25 years. Upland and Taylor were always in my legislative district. Some of the folks from Indianapolis wondered the shape of my district because I always insisted that Taylor be in my district. Interesting, the precinct where Taylor is was always my best voting precinct, usually getting 80 60+% of the vote here. I want to introduce some of the friends and family who be here or who are with us today. One of my high school teammates, Jim Nicholson, is with us. Three of my college teammates sitting back here, Rick Mennick, Jim Brown, and Kevin Sorensen, all outstanding players, Jim was. Some friends who are with us, Wayne Westgate, State Representative Lori Goss-Reeves and her husband Eric, and Jerry Cindy Pattengale, and Dr. Bob Jackson, who was team doctor, as Mark said, when we were coming through. My high school football coach, Bob Bothwell, is here. Since we met when I was a freshman in high school, he's been my mentor. Bob and his wife, Kathy, have been our lifetime friends. I would have never had the opportunity to play college football without Bob. As I said, I was a kicker, and I can't tell you how many times we stayed after practice. He held for me, I kicked the ball, had a couple managers chasing the balls. We did it lots and lots of time. My brother Kyle and his wife Pam, as I mentioned, even though I was 8 years older than Kyle, he's always been my biggest supporter and my longtime business partner. As Kyle said, we have a few of our family here today. We have 4 kids, as I mentioned, all Taylor alums and their spouses, along with our 20 grandkids. Our son Zeke is a developer of senior living communities. He's founded 2 public companies, and more importantly, he and his wife, Melissa, have 11 children. Zeke and his former roommate and now brother-in-law, Jeb Rice, may have set an all-time Taylor record with 18 kids out of 1 Taylor dorm room. I challenge anybody to beat that. Our daughter Jessa is an attorney and owns a governmental affairs practice with her husband Russ called the Capital Group. And she was just named the head girls varsity basketball coach at Heritage Christian. Kylie, our middle daughter, is an accountant with Vita Investment Holdings, also does some accounting for the Capital Group and some of our various business interests. Kylie and her husband Adam, an Iraqi war veteran, just moved to Upland and live on Overlook Drive. You can almost see it from right here. Courtney is an attorney and spent the last 9 years as a constitutional lawyer. She's now general counsel for Vita Investment Holdings and also serves as general counsel for Indiana Right to Life. Her husband JD is a Medicare expert with the Cicero Insurance Agency in Cicero, Indiana. And then my wife, although she did not graduate, or she did graduate from Indiana Wesleyan, she's been such a big part of supporting Taylor University all these years. She really does bleed purple. All 30 of us and my immediate family are here today, and I'd like for them to stand and be recognized. I've been a basketball camper at Taylor. I've been a student at Taylor, an athlete at Taylor, a supporter of Taylor, a fan of Taylor, a legislator representing Taylor, and a member of the Board of Trustees at Taylor. Although it's been nearly 50 years since I played, the Taylor athletic experience is still unique. Playing athletics at Taylor is more than wins and losses, even though we want to win. At Taylor, academic excellence is not only encouraged, but expected. At Taylor, not everyone becomes an All-American like the two you just heard from. But every athlete is encouraged to become the best you can be in your sport. At Taylor, your continued spiritual growth is important to every coach and each of your teammates. And with Taylor Athletics, you develop lifelong Christian friends. Let me close by saying this. Having the opportunity to play on a team with other Christian men under the tutelage of outstanding Christian coaches and representing all that Taylor University stands for on the field of play is one of the greatest experiences of my life. Thank you.